Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on this fine day. I would like to read on the pandemic because I haven't shared a YouTube reading on that in some time. And, we just would like to see where it's going. Some people think it will be endemic and it will just come back every fall for years and years and years. I don't think so. But I'd like to look at that. And of course, India. Very concerned about India. India's having so many deaths still, even though, thank goodness, there's slight improvement. My God, they got hit so hard. So India, I'd like to look at. And also Japan may have the Olympics, may not have the Olympics. Will there be a postponement? Because with the new variant, Japan's strategy of closing borders and really using a lot of really good social mitigation kinds of efforts is not going to be enough. So, and let's look at a vaccine, getting it out there. How are we doing? Okay, so regarding the pandemic, first of all, Source, please give us information that's helpful and accurate. All right. First of all, let's look at India really quickly. Okay. We have the Queen of Wands. We have the Hanged Man. Okay, we're still seeing things from a new perspective. The governments, I think, are trying to help out more. Slow start, right? To getting vaccines coming into India. I know that the AstraZeneca, the U.S. has sent AstraZeneca there over a week ago, but not enough. Other supplies as well. Three of Coins. Okay, well, the thing is, India is such a developing nation. I mean, its economy is growing by leaps and bounds. Its technology too, and expertise. So I think India comes out of this growing a lot technologically and in their own independence, financially. I think this ends up making them stronger. So yeah, I think it would have behooved other countries to help more, just in terms of alliances for the future. Let's see, what about pandemic for them? Well, they have the beginning of a good plan. They have more vaccinated. Their government is kicking in a good plan. Ace of Swords. Now they are. I feel like, again, too late, but Ace of Swords. Spirit is helping out. Yeah, trying to get a good plan going for vaccinating and getting these numbers down. They are going down. So that does mean that is a real decrease and will continue. They're on the right path now, but there has been so much heartache. Let's look at Japan. So they want to have the Olympics, but they have rising cases. And what's going on there? Page of Coins. They're beginning to put more money into vaccinating people. See, that was a concern that they got such a late start on vaccinating. Two of Wands, right? They do want to keep travel open. That's for sure. They want to have people come. They're not sure that they can open it up to fans right now. They're in a lockdown. But it's going forward. But the two horses, I feel like that means that there may be some things that go forward and some things that don't somehow. Pregnant with the possibility. I feel like that's pregnant with the possibility of postponing. But they have the Lover's card. They've made agreements. They have enough countries agreeing to continue. Interesting. Well, I guess that makes sense to me. Countries more apt to maybe send their athletes if their athletes are vaccinated. So that's the wild card there. I would say they would for sure just postpone it like they had before, but the wild card is the vaccination. So they may not. Very gradually, they may postpone some things. That's what I'm kind of getting. Okay, success and completion. All right, well, it happens. It happens one way or another. I feel like they get more help with getting their populace vaccinated. So it is too bad, though. They were relying on an old strategy that had worked really well until the new variants, the more contagious variants, came along. Okay, well, what about, will this become endemic? All right, that's what I want to know as well. So, can we expect to see, well, there are some countries who, let's first ask about the countries who are having it tough, or the countries who don't have a lot of vaccine that can expect an increase in cases because these new, more contagious variants have changed the rules. You know, the mitigation practices they were using before won't work. Are there a lot more countries going to have an uptick, a real upswing? Let's see. Page of Cups. Okay, a little bit of good news. Chariot. Okay, so I feel like there are maybe 2 countries that are heading into an upswing that can't be avoided. Okay. I do feel like it's cut off, though. It doesn't go as high as India's. I know Brazil's having a heck of a time too, though. This could be India and Brazil. Let's see. Pregnant with the possibility. Yeah, there's some real danger there around the globe. Every country has to get the vaccine. Has to get the vaccine in a lot of arms. Every single one. There's not one that can close themselves off from this. I shouldn't say so. I feel like New Zealand still does a really good job, but then they are getting some vaccines going there. So let's see. So yeah, we do have still some upswings in at least a couple of countries. I feel like the other upswings, you know how in the US the new variants came, and there was an upswing, but I kind of saw it as a little bump, and that's what we had, a little bump. I feel like that's what a lot of countries will have. It's a little bump. Because they will be able to vaccinate enough to head it off before it goes wild. And a lot of countries have lower numbers than the US had to begin with, so they're doing better already at the beginning. So that helps them too. Okay, so we will get this under control. What about in the fall? What does it look like? We have the 8 of coins. We're learning. We've learned a lot, which sure is beneficial. Okay, and we have a lot more vaccine. Queen of coins. Again, we will see this pattern with the wealthier nations having more freedom from this. So we will still see with the poorer nations some troubles with this. But we should be hopeful. We get the Star card. We should be hopeful this can be extinguished. And I feel like there's more hope for that after we see what happens in the fall, you know. Queen of Cups. We're riding it out. There's more compassion. It's a good thing people are talking a little bit more about helping, more willingness to help. But you know, it's easier to be more willing to help when most of your populace has already been vaccinated, right? So yeah, there's that. All right. So we do still have to worry about the poorest countries or the most low-income countries. Now, what about like the following fall? COVID in the following fall. Bedeviled, so there is still some coming back, because I feel like there's some countries where we're still looking the following fall and going like the fall of 2022 going, and why hasn't this been taken care of yet? You know, there's still some countries that just don't have much vaccine. So that's not great. Greed and avarice, that could be too. We have the Tower, but we have the Tower. 9 of Wands embattled. Knight of Coins, gradually increasing our security. So there's some sort of Tower. So I feel like the coming, you know, we do see it again in the fall of 2022, which could be expected, but it's like taken very seriously and people are freaking out about it. And there are some countries that never did get a lot of vaccine, and then people are suddenly going, oh my gosh, what's going on? We were assuming they were all getting vaccinated. You know what I mean? How that goes? You know, it would behoove us to pay attention even when it's not a huge problem in our country, for the US. You know, even when it becomes not as big a problem here, it certainly would behoove us to pay attention to where it is in other nations. Okay, what about fall of 2023? Government, all the governments have a much better sense of this, and there is more of a worldwide approach to managing pandemics by then. They had to come together. They tried not to, but they had to come together and really develop some infrastructure, develop some organization there to deal with getting pandemics under control on a worldwide basis. So we will indeed be much better prepared for the next one. And then the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords, inspiration. Okay, well, good. It is burdensome though. I mean, there's a lot of catching up, getting some countries caught up. You know, getting this cooperation between all of the countries, it is sort of burdensome. But I feel like there is suddenly, and I don't know if they even call it something new, but there will be a worldwide, or if it's just through the WHO, but there will be a worldwide committee organization on preventing pandemics in the future. We will have much more cooperation by the fall and winter of 2023. So does that do us good for COVID? Yeah, it does. It does us a lot of good for COVID. See, I don't feel it. I never have felt it. This is something that we're going to have come back every fall for a good segment of the population. I just don't. Next fall, obviously, we're still concerned about it. But, and this coming fall and the following even, it's still around. But then it looks like we do get a real handle on it and on future pandemics. So Spirit, show us the next pandemic. Opportunity. There will be an opportunity to try all this out. Okay, bedeviled. But it's more like it comes with the COVID-19 still around. Okay. So we're not being shown the next pandemic. So what does that mean? I think we're not supposed to worry about it. I think that I feel like I've clearly heard that the next virus that comes out that's new and novel, it's controlled. It's controlled right away. So that's, very gratifying to see. But really, it's the struggles we have with COVID-19 that are going to change the way we deal with pandemics, and to everyone's best, So that's what I'm seeing. All right, Spirit, anything else we should know? Is the vaccine safe? Just in case anybody out there is wondering what Spirit has to say about that. Now, my family's been vaccinated, even my 12-year-old. Woohoo! The 12-year-olds got the shots. The kids, you can tell how I feel about it. Free, you know what I mean? The kids, the littler kids probably, they say won't get approved for the vaccine until fall or even the end of the year. But thankfully, they usually don't get it as bad anyway. All right, vaccine. What do you have to say about it, Spirit? Four of Swords. Well, it's sort of like, do you want to be sick? That should be your question. Yes. What's riskier, getting COVID or getting the vaccine? Okay, because, people have reported side effects a lot of times, especially with the second dose. I didn't really experience much of that, but people have reported some achiness or digestive stuff or whatever. Well, you should ask yourself, what's worse? Okay. 8 of Coins. We're learning more and more about it, which should be reassuring. And some people did just wait till they just wanted to wait, give it a little time, make sure that there'd been enough experience with it. So now, so that is good. We have been learning about it. The 8 of Swords, some people just have ideas that trap them from getting it, and it's really not. I just don't see any evidence that it's all thoughts. It's all thoughts. I don't see evidence that it's unsafe. The 10 of Swords. What's the 10 of Swords, Spirit? This is what's tragic about it, though. Some people feel shut out in the cold, and they don't. There are many people who would like the vaccine and can't get it. That's what it is across the world, right? And, that continues to be devastating to them. So, I just think this is about safe. Yeah, I think so. I think the scientists agree it's safe. All right, well, that's what I got. That's what I've always felt. A lot of times I feel like I should tell you guys what Spirit says to me personally about my situation, because I get a lot of really good guidance from Spirit, and always I'm glad I took it. So if it's good guidance for me, it's probably good guidance for you. Yeah, Pay attention to the science. We have the logic. Pay attention to the logic about it. All right, in your particular situation, now I know there are people who, do what's logical. I know there are people who have a tendency for allergic reactions to the vaccine, and that's a whole different thing, right? We don't want that, because we know that some people have had that. And, maybe some patients with certain conditions, their doctors are advising them not to, and they need to pay attention to that. So, logic, planning. Use our best intellect about it. But in other words, what I'm seeing from the cards is, I'm seeing all these swords. It's all about head, what's in your head and what's in your thoughts. And I don't see anything about being swayed by emotion here. Okay. All right. Well, I thank you all so very much. Stay safe, stay well, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.